Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. And yesterday, unfortunately, it wasn't possible to do one, so I'm already saying sorry for that. But today we are here with big news, and if you watch this later, you will find everything in the timestamps in the video description. But today we're talking about the SEC and how Gary Gensler is somehow linked to CZ since a longer time. We are also talking about how important the Ripple lawsuit is for the next step, so to say. And we are going to talk, and this is the main topic here, about long dormant whales that have been waking up recently and that have been doing a move, not only in Bitcoin, but also somewhere else, also in Polygon, also in Veve, or let's say in Veve we have whale moves, and we are going to look a little bit how strong Bitcoin actually is and why I think we can expect very, very good things for the second half of the year. Smarty Pants is here and says, second, still 100% attendance on live streams so far. Welcome to the stream. True stream veteran and Motili here is also good morning and welcome to the stream. Smash the like button for me. We are only a few people right now on this Friday. So it's the Friday, it's a freaking weekend, and before we start, I just want to say that I'm a crypto and NFT investor, obviously, and not a financial advisor. So do your own research before you ape full degen into the Bitcoin, altcoins, Veve, and whatever other investment opportunity that is out there that you might consider after hearing the stream. So not financial advice. I want to welcome especially two people here in the fam, two new channel members, and the first one actually I saw right now that I did the mint wrong, but Eduardo with number 15 here on my Rare Hodler screen, and Michelle should be number 16, but it's still written as number 15. This is going to be corrected after the stream, but as I said, the most important thing for the channel is smashing the like, but also, obviously, it's highly, highly appreciated supporting the channel in this way. So I'm really happy to welcome both in the last days to the fam. Marcus Zim is here. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. And with that, I think it's time to start the intro. So there we go. If you haven't yet, make also sure to check out the video section of this channel to see some more condensed information. As the last one was a VeChain video, but there's also stuff about Ecomi, Veve, and other altcoins there. With that said, let's jump right into the news. So as I've mentioned before, Binance lawyers have leaked documents, have alleged that the SEC chair Gensler offered to serve as an advisor to the crypto company in 2019. So that photo is super funny, by the way. But Gensler was at the time at the MIT, where he, by the way, also met the founder of Algorand, as we have seen in a video that you can also, by the way, see in a short that I made, where Gary Gensler basically said that Algorand was a super good coin and now, or a crypto project, and now, according to the SEC, it's a security. So that is just one of the many things in the arguments of Gary Gensler and the SEC that doesn't line up at all. By the way, hope you guys have your coffee locked and loaded and ready to go here. And this is super funny because this part is very interesting. Documents filed by the SEC on Wednesday indicate that attorneys from Gibson, Dunn, and Latham Watkins, two of Binance's law firms, alleged that Gensler offered to serve as an advisor to the crypto exchange in several March 2019 conversations with Binance executive Zhao. He eventually met Zhao in Japan for lunch later that month, the filing claims. So, Gary Gensler meeting CZ for lunch in 2019 in Japan when he is still not at the SEC, and then later also at the time he was at the MIT, for School of Management, and he appointed as head of CEO of SEC in 2021. He was appointed, and over the past year he has come down hard on crypto, as we saw here, filing 13 charges against Binance, and alleging that the company failed to register as an exchange and broker dealer, improperly commingling funds, and lacked critical internal controls over business. And also, there was another part here which was very important, and that was this one here. In 2019 still, Gensler was, or this is the allegation, was slated to testify before the House of Financial Services Committee, and he sent to CZ a copy of his intended testimony ahead of hearing. So what this means is that he basically tried hard to apply as an advisor at the SEC, and he even sent a letter of testimony to CZ to basically show him, hey, I want to work with you, this is what I'm going to say, please, I hope you approve of this, you like this, you see I'm going to provide stuff. So he was really hard trying to get in, and apparently he was rejected. Apparently he was not let on board, and that was before he got 2 years before he got appointed. And now that he is appointed as the director of the SEC, which he wasn't at the time, he is coming down hard on Binance. Nirujan says, love your Veve Omi videos, hi from Canada. Hey, also glad to have you here, Nirujan, and greetings to Canada. I also love making Ecomi and Veve videos whenever there's something to make. And we are going to talk about Ecomi and Veve later in the stream also. My biggest problem with Ecomi is that there's just no progress that I can report on. So it's always hard to make useful Ecomi content in these times. But I'm sure there will be coming more to do. So then here's another one, and that is an opinion article here that says, can Binance survive the SEC charges? And there's also a very interesting point made, which since I don't know how to use a highlighter on Brave yet, I have to find here, but it was one of the later parts. So here it is. In other words, Binance's legal troubles are in the category above Coinbase's. The charges focus not just on the question of whether its listings are unregistered securities, but also around whether it misled customers about how their funds were deployed and whether it was implicitly encouraging US citizens to trade on a non-US based platform to which they were not supposed to have access. So this fits right into Gary being rejected from CZ or by CZ from being an advisor on Binance, that now they are coming down very harsh on Binance. Nevertheless, even if this is the case, Binance has to defend themselves against these allegations. They are delisting hundreds of tokens from Binance US, and that is very important distinction here, because Binance US is not overall Binance, and the US is not the entire crypto market, although very important for crypto. So that is something that we always have to keep in mind, because the SEC is at the moment communicating as if they were the world government or somehow the world exchange committee, and that's just simply not the case. Their reach goes only to the US exchanges, and if they want to come down hard on them, this is not going to be the end. It would be a major hit, but it's not going to be the end. And there are some other possibilities that we need to keep in mind as well. So with FTX, for example, the FUD was leading to a bank run. The bank run was revealing that there was a major Ponzi going on, that there were not enough funds, and that user funds have been used to make absurd leverage trades. SmartyPants says, got the email just earlier from Binance US that they are suspending all USD fiat deposits and withdrawals by June 13th. Quite annoying. Yes, it's not only annoying, it also means that people that are not, let's say, do not have the sufficient funds, so small positions, or that not want to spend gas fees because these positions are smaller, basically are going to liquidate all of their tokens on Binance US and just withdraw fiat, which is something that, for example, if I already had with smaller positions on an exchange that I was worried about. And the only option for me there is to save my funds in, because let's say you put $100 into a token, into a higher risk token, and it goes down by 90%, you have $10 left. And sometimes this if you want to send this to another exchange, you pay like $5 gas fees or something like that, or you cannot even withdraw such a small amount then to another in form of tokens through the network, then you just can liquidate, right? So this could be one problem. So this forces basically the very small retail users to do a bank run, in the sense that they want to liquidate and cash out. So what does I think the main intention here for the SEC is to reveal how much basically Binance is in liquidity. If they want to see if they can cause a run on Binance and then reveal a liquidity problem, which would put Binance in a problem and go down. I don't think that Binance has this type of problem, to be honest. Yeah, let's also quickly look at this, because this was coming out right now. It's very new article. Ripple case more crucial than ever amid Coinbase Binance SEC crackdown. Very important here to also see that it's not only Binance, it's also Coinbase, but Coinbase just has the problem with the unregistered security and the staking, and Coinbase has another so to say advantage, because Coinbase IPO has been under the surveillance of the SEC, and basically the SEC has a worse standing against Coinbase than against Binance, because they have been basically knowing what Coinbase is doing and still basically allowing the IPO. So they have been knowing the business model. That's also the stance which Armstrong is taking, which is the head of Coinbase there. So let's quickly look at this, because the judges presiding over Coinbase and Binance lawsuit would likely watch the result of SEC versus Ripple case, which also means that if you want to come to any conclusions on Coinbase and Binance, first of all, Ripple needs to be decided. Ripple has been in a legal battle since 3 years, and on June 6th, the SEC filed a lawsuit against Coinbase, so this is very recent, right? And now we have here the lawyer James Murphy, known as Meta Lawman on Twitter, explained in a series of tweets on June 9th that a favorable outcome for Ripple could undermine the entire basis for the SEC case against both Coinbase and Binance. So we can quickly look at this conversation on Twitter here, maybe, because that is very interesting. The stakes just keep getting higher for the ruling SEC versus Ripple. Here's why. If Judge Torres rules, by the way, I think this Judge Torres is also the one that was ruling on the Top Shots. If Judge Torres rules that XRP tokens trading on secondary market are not securities, it would undermine the entire basis of the SEC case against Coinbase and much of the Binance case. In the Coinbase case, the SEC claims that 13 tokens traded on Coinbase are securities, so Coinbase is illegally operating an unregistered security exchange, broker-dealer, and clearing broker. But if those 13 tokens are judged non-securities, the SEC has no case anymore. That's already a like. Before anyone gets too excited, a ruling by Judge Torres would not be binding precedent in other cases, meaning other judges will not be bound to rule the same way. Only decisions of the Court of Appeals on the Supreme Court are binding and lower court judges. But the judge Reardon assigned to the Coinbase case is brand new, only been a judge for 6 months. Judge Reardon works in the same court in Lower Manhattan with Judge Torres. So while a Torres decision on XRP would not be a binding precedent, I do believe Judge Reardon will pay very close attention to Torres's legal reasoning in ruling whether XRP is a security. And I believe Judge Reardon would follow that same reasoning as she analyzes whether the 13 tokens cited in the Coinbase complaint are securities. And at this point, I myself wanted to add that basically the law here is really what they said with the binding precedents. That is how the US law works, right? So if there is a binding precedent, then afterwards these tokens have to be ruled all in the same way if they are set up in the same manner. But as he outlined, this is not the case in this first XRP ruling. But once this is done, once this has been done with more tokens, there will be an appeal, and then there will be binding precedents. And another one is that in the lawsuit against Coinbase, I think Coinbase, XRP is not mentioned as one of these tokens, which makes absolutely no sense, as we have outlined 2 days ago in the morning live stream. So this dynamic, of course, works both ways. If Judge Torres rules that XRP tokens traded on secondary market are securities, the SEC will jump for joy and argue that the judge presiding over the Coinbase and Binance case should follow Judge Torres' reasoning. A few caveats are in order. First, the Binance case is not quite as simple because, unlike Coinbase, it did issue its own token, BNB. So Binance will be hoping Judge Torres rules that Ripple's own issuance and sales of XRP do not qualify as securities offerings. And more caveats, with respect to Coinbase, the SEC could still argue that staking as a service qualifies as securities offering, even if Judge Reardon rules that 13 listed tokens are not securities, but the rest of the SEC's case would be gutted. Final caveat, 3 judges within the same court do disagree with another occasionally. But I believe that Judge Reardon, with only 6 months in job, is not likely to disagree with the legal reasoning of her experienced fellow judge in such an enormous consequential case. I want to make a point here against that, even though we might not like it. if this judge is only 6 months on the job, it could also be that he wants to follow the SEC and not his, I don't know, fellow judge or mentor or whatever. But who knows? Who knows? Bottom line, whichever way these early court rulings go, we should expect to see years of appeals. In the meantime, even more people in crypto have good reason to root for a big Ripple win. So it looks like the XRP army is finally getting some reinforcements. And I think that is very important, and I think we will see something in the next couple of weeks, which makes me thinking if while now these altcoins are taking a hit, it might be time to buy them. Because even if in the US these exchanges cannot list them, that would be only the US. We know that the US for now is very, very important in terms of crypto. But just with the possibility of a win, I might take that gamble and scale these altcoins higher. With that said, let's come to the main topic here for today, which is the mysterious awakening of Bitcoin whales, which have been observed in the last months, and right now there is another one that has been waking up. A long-term dormant wallet, which held a significant sum of 1,432 Bitcoins valued at 37.8 million, has recently transferred its funds to a new address. This move comes after more than a decade of inactivity, attracting attention within the cryptocurrency community. The wallet first received Bitcoin back in April 2013, when the price per coin was a mere $195. So someone took either a massive profit or just moved their funds, as observed by on-chain and analyst Look On-Chain. Alex and Crypto is here. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. As observed by this transfer is part of a series of similar movements that have been witnessed in recent months involving other long idle addresses in the cryptocurrency space. So dormant wallet transfers 37.8 million worth of Bitcoin. That is what has happened. The total value of the transferred Bitcoin amounts to an impressive 37.8 million. Bitcoin address receives initial coins during the early days. The dormant wallet initially received the Bitcoin on the April 9th, so it's almost exactly 10 years ago. So, we have a surge in activity from dormant addresses. This latest transfer is part of a growing trend involving dormant addresses suddenly becoming active and initiating large-scale transactions. On April 24th, another Bitcoin whale address, inactive for 12 years, transferred nearly 11 million worth of Bitcoin to another address. Days earlier, a different dormant wallet moved approximately 61 million in Bitcoin after 9 years of inactivity. So, crazy stuff there. Furthermore, a separate address transferred 279 Bitcoins after remaining inactive for a decade. So, a ton of Bitcoin whales with 200 to thousands of Bitcoin are making one move after 10 years. Ethereum addresses also awaken after years of inactivity. Alongside the Bitcoin activity, there have been notable instances with Ethereum as well. There was a big whale dormant for 7.7 years, suddenly became active, and this address is associated with the project's initial coin offering as well. So either these wallets are all from the same whale, which I doubt, or there's just something now in the wake of these events with Binance and so on that makes these whales access their Bitcoin and move them to for whatever reason to another address, or these whales have finally taken the chance to make an OTC deal. Nonetheless, it's very interesting that these whales are all waking up right now in 2023. Now, there's another one that is making moves, and that is the Polygon Matic, which sees 742% surge in big moves as whales react to Polygon being part and labeled as a security. So we have seen that basically here there are major deposits in Polygon. So although many assets have enjoyed a solid, that was not the intention. Although many assets have enjoyed a solid rebound today, Matic has hit a wall late. The latest setback appears to be 95 million transfers from a whale cold wallet to Binance, as the number 10 market cap asset fell below 80 cents, the first time since January the 6th. So there are major deposits. I don't know if this is visible here. Maybe I open up this tweet quickly so we can see it. So here we see it. Never since this massive sell-off in late 2022, we have seen so many Polygon Matic move to exchanges. So it is possible that these are getting ready to dump once there is new information out about how big the threat is for those cryptos to be labeled as security. And we can see also that if we look here at the Matic chart, we have seen that the price dumped a little bit, but it's still holding this support here. And I'm not going to dive too deep into that, but basically we are talking about this line here being retested. This was right now, by the way. We are here in the daily chart. But yeah, we had a surge in 2021. We had our bottom here for Matic in 15th of 2022 already, as it seems, for now, because altcoins can suffer quite a bit in the recent development. Just saying. Let's also quickly look at how we are doing with Bitcoin. So the falling wedge is still active for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has seen a pretty nasty whipsaw pattern, as we can see here. So we had basically dump and pump, and now we are consolidating sideways again. That just for the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is relatively useless usually, as unless you are a day trader, in my opinion. But what's important here is that this falling wedge that we have been drawing in here since basically that is active since the 23rd of April, where we are moving just in this downward sloping wedge with a bounce on this trend line, is still active, in my opinion. So what we can see here now, and I've posted this yesterday as well, in next, I think it's 5 days from now, there is the next FOMC meeting. So we will be knowing if there's a rate hike or not. A rate pause could bring us to break this falling wedge to the upside. If we were to break this falling wedge to the upside, it would take us, let's say this happens somewhere there, it would take us roughly to retest this massive overhead resistance that basically is our entire bear market trough. So if we zoom out here, I hope you can see this. If we zoom out here, we can see that this is basically the major support line from the previous bull market. So this is basically where we had our massive head and shoulders pattern for the bull market. And now once we had fallen through this in our major collapses, so Terra Luna, FTX, Voyager, Celsius, and so on, all of this has been basically going on to lead us into this bear market trough. So if we would with this break to the upside of this falling wedge conclude our cup and handle, I think we are going to see some very if we take this neckline here and then this cup and handle basically, and say this here's the breakout, we would go up to 57,000, almost 56,000, right? So this would be then the breakout, the measured move, so to say. We keep that in mind, because there is no guarantee that this plays out, which is why I would never, since we are in these decisive patterns, I would never take an action based on that we are right in the middle of this wedge, because we could lose this one, we could lose support and come down and test, and then we have something else here besides this cup and handle. Then we would be out of this pattern. Right now, if we would be coiling up here, because we have this major trend line, look at this, there's very much confluence with this trend line, right? 3 times we have bounced there, but if we were to lose this, we could really drop down, bounce until this trend line or something like that, form somewhat of a double bottom, right? That would be the bearish target. The bearish target would be that we really crash down, but I don't see too much of a bearish development for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is unaffected by the lawsuit or unaffected by the SEC. Bitcoin is commodity. This is already known. This is already approved. So this is also why at this point I have to say, for my portfolio, I have the rule, my portfolio has to have always around 50% Bitcoin, because even if my gambles, my theories on the altcoins are going wrong, I only have to have a Bitcoin that doubles in price to offset my losses, right? So that's why I'm going with the strategy right now. I think it's 44% and not 50%, but I'm DCAing into Bitcoin at the moment to bring Bitcoin up, or my Bitcoin position up to 50%, because I think it's not unreasonable to believe that we could in the next time double in price from here, and at the same time always a little bit I will also bring up my altcoin positions while we are dropping in the altcoin prices right now. Last thing before we go to Veve here, I want to quickly look at the DXY, and here is what we hope for, seems to be really happening. So I have drawn in the small retest here, or the small support line here, because I was worrying first about this breakout, but now it seems that we have, let me just quickly reload this. It seems that we have this trajectory of lower highs still here. So here's 1, 2, 3. So it seems that we are really dropping for the DXY, right? And we can assume that if we really get a rate hike pause at the FOMC meeting in 5 days, and we already lost the support in anticipation, that the dollar is losing in value again. Together with, so this is the debt ceiling decision, and as a consequence from the debt ceiling decision, we are losing value. Whenever we drop with the price, we get a major Bitcoin rally. So this also is confluence to what I've been saying before regarding Bitcoin. So I expect Bitcoin to rally based on this dropping. So basically also this major drop off here is our rally back into the falling wedge, right, in Bitcoin. But enough with that, let's talk once more about whales. And we are coming to Veve here, because we have to look at the VVX tracker and the top 100 whales at Veve. So Veve NFTs are continuing to be the subject of massive buying. So as you can see here, in the last 7 days from right now, we have a net accumulation of 900, you cannot see that, by the way. For this, I will get my face out of the screen and move the chat up in the corner. So we have a net accumulation of thousands of collectibles right now. Some of these whales are stacking like crazy at the moment. So look at this. Number 5 has stacked 906 net accumulation with only 33 mints. So they are buying a ton on the secondary market right now. We have in the top 5 in general, close to 100 here, close to 100 here, 130 here in the top 10. And then we have here at number 14, 1,000, almost 1.5 thousand, 1,000 number 16. We have almost 1,000 at number 33. So there are a couple of wallets that are really ramping up their buys, and we have almost no significant negative accumulation. Almost all net accumulation is positive here in these massive ranks. So yeah, as you can see here, let's look also at the negative. We have some buying and selling going on. I don't take these numbers seriously, because if you are still buying and selling, this looks more like rebalancing the portfolio. So something that is now in profit, you sell and then you buy something else for it. So let's look at someone else who is purchasing negative here on Veve. Yeah, 3 is like selling off 3 collectibles with a stack of almost 4,000 is also not too dramatic for me. Minus 33, again, we have also buying and minting going on here. Minus 101, again, we have massive minting, massive, or at least buying, and then massive selling going on. This looks like someone that is really buying, flipping, minting, and selling of newly minted items there. So this is a flipper in my opinion. And then, yeah, but that's basically it. There is no position here that has dropped like with a negative 1,000 or something like that, that has, let's say, dropped from the upper ranks to the lower ranks. So overall, we can see that thousands of Veve collectibles are being purchased all the time here. In only the last 7 days. So if we take this all together, just the big positions, we have, let's say, roughly 1,000, 2.5 thousand with this, 3.5 thousand. Then there's 2 scroll bars here, which is a little bit difficult. Then where's this other wallet? There was more. So let's do this again. Why can't I? Okay, so let's do it just with this. So 1,000, 2,500, 3,500, 4,500. So this alone, when you add all of these numbers of net, I think there's even one here. So yeah, that's an average of 1,190 items, 14-day average net accumulation, 7-day net accumulation at 1,073. And if I refresh this, because one number is not loading, we should get a total of net accumulation here on the VVX tracker. No, it doesn't load, unfortunately. So in general, it offsets. Right now, the net accumulation offsets the amount of, for example, the latest comic drop. Yeah, but it's scattered over all items, over all collectibles there. Then also, that's by the way a Bitcoin metric that I will present in another stream, because we have already moved on. Let's see here, that also was for that. But let's move on here to this one. So Veve Meister posted this. He's a German YouTuber. Meanwhile, today at the digital marketing event in Amsterdam, Robert Iger being cited on a slide with plenty of Disney golden moments. Someone tracked down the speaker to suggest a little Veve logo would have been nice. Great find by Nexclusive. Oh, by the way, I don't follow Nexclusive, so let's go. Yeah, so as we can see here, at this slide, we have companies in the NFT space are presented, right? And then we forget in our generation that things don't have to be physical. They can be digital and they have meaning to people. That is what Bob Iger said. And the speaker here chose to basically put the golden moments around Bob Iger. But again, we see that people just can't link these directly to Veve, although they are exclusive to Veve. And we see only that Adidas, Gucci, McDonald's, Budweiser, Coca-Cola, Volkswagen, Hublot, and Nike have been cited here as logos. Obviously, these are another size, another beast of brands. But if you look at this, you could argue that it would have been nice if there would at least somewhere here written Golden Moments NFTs by Veve or something like that. Hey Nico, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. We're just talking about Veve here. And then here's another one that I found interesting. This is apparently from the David Yu Instagram, and it shows a gate of let me pull this up for you guys. It shows a gate of Jurassic Park with augmented reality on the road. And there is an event coming up for Jurassic Park, so it could be that we are having a teased NFT drop here, because it says here, but this is by King Crypt. He says, so I hope this turns out to be true. In 3 days, June 11th, 1993, so exactly 30 years ago, Jurassic Park was released in US cinema. So will we see another Veve drop? Maybe. David Yu already showcased the interactive Jurassic Park gate over 2 years ago. So this is apparently from 2 years ago. I did not know that. This video is, let's say, interesting. I mean, we see in the quality of that this is a 2 year ago quality. Maybe this has a little bit been reworked. On the other hand, it looks very old school. So this could be also just a nice Jurassic Park drop. At least we can expect something for Jurassic Park coming for Veve there. Let's also quickly check Veve channel. So it says here, this is important for you guys. Reminder, collect and hold all 7 USPS Presidential Series 1938 S1 collectibles from 8 a.m. PT through 11:59 on June 9th. This is today. And receive a 1938 The White House collectible to add to your set. I have the full set, waiting for the airdrop. I will probably keep the set just for MCP points together with the airdrop. Also, I've almost never received an airdrop because of me not being in the right sets. But sometimes it's paying off with the airdrops. We will see. I'm about to get the stamp. I'm about to get the Thanos. Not the Warrior, but the normal Thanos. Then we also have another 1-for-1. Unfortunately, these are out of my reach, but I would really love to have one of these. These are looking very, very good. Maybe one day. I've never seen, by the way, one of the one-of-ones hitting the market. Have you already seen a one-of-one in the market? I have not, certainly not. So this is from Marco Cecchetto, the Amazing Spider-Man 52 artist proof, and I think we do not have that comic yet on the app. I'm not quite sure. And then there's also 39 years ago today, Ghostbusters released in theaters, becoming a cultural phenomenon celebrated for decades to come. Let's celebrate Ghostbusters Day. Share your AR photos, videos in the comments using Collectors at Heart for a chance to be featured. Now, I would have expected, honestly, for something like that, that there's a Ghostbusters drop coming, but I don't know if they can still, or if they still have an agreement, or if they are still dropping for that. Smarty Pants says, my one-of-one is in the market for 500,000. go for it. Unfortunately, that is too much for me, because I'd probably need a couple of million YouTube subscribers to be making that kind of money on YouTube. That's why I also have to go into the hamster wheel every day. Then also, this one is new. David Yu is bringing the New Zealand stamps to Veve. I think that's cool. And if you're a stamp collector, and I hope that these are also low priced, like 6 gems maximum, like the USPS ones, that would be cool. I think if it's above that or significantly above that, I won't go for it. Otherwise, I like stamp collecting, so probably I'm going for the stamps as well. By the way, guys, we have 16 people here. I appreciate that a lot. Please make sure to smash up the like button right now under this live streams to get this out for more and more people. Thanks for the like. I really appreciate it. Doesn't cost anything to smash the like button, only you going out of full screen, going back to full screen. So that would be really, really good. So I think these are cool, especially this one. I think this could be the uncommon with the palms here. I really like that. So I'm probably going for this just because I am kind of liking New Zealand, or not New Zealand stamps, but stamps in general. For me, stamps, coins, and historic items are really cool. Nico, thanks for smashing it. Great. I really appreciate that. So yeah. And then there also, guys, don't forget to do this survey. It's like on the side. I think it takes really about 10 minutes. But nonetheless, you can win one of 20 digital collectibles in this by taking part in the survey. Also helps Veve. I hope they get something out of this. Hello K asks here if they will share a summary of their findings. I think probably not, as someone responded, because they do this to have or to gain to learn more about the community, not to share this with their competitors. So I'm fine with not sharing the results with them as long as we will be seeing who won the 20 collectibles here, and I hope they are 20 collectibles of value. There will be thousands of people taking part in this survey, but nonetheless, at some point, we might be winning something, right? Yesterday, I took part in this drop just because the secret rare again is one of the super scarce ones. Unfortunately, as almost always, I hit a common. So I hit a 800 something mint common, but with this low edition size, 800 is not as good. Even an 800 mint doesn't sell for drop price at the moment. I will just hodl it and see what happens in a couple of years with it. But maybe also good thing that I can read Edge of Spider-Verse until that happens. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm holding this. If the secret rare, I think this is the secret rare here on the right. If the secret rare drops below 100 gems, I might go for one because there's only 125. But for now, it's above 100 gems, so I will see. And then there are so many other secret rares I want that are probably more valuable than this one. Not entirely sure if I'll buy more of this comic. It looks nice though. That basically is what is new here on the Veve channel. We can quickly look if they have replied something interesting, which sometimes happens. That was also pretty funny. They were like, get a closer look, and Brock McBlockchain is bringing like, get an even closer look. Thank you, Brock, for this one. By the way, I have been forgetting to bring myself back into the screen here. So nothing too big here from Veve, I think. What is that? Thanks for attending the Veve DesignerCon kickoff party. Every successful scanned barcode in your party is eligible for a full set of Veve logo letters when available. Please click the link below and verify your Veve account details by 2030. This is actually important information, and I didn't even know that, and probably I don't even know if people were supposed to know that, but apparently, oh, there's the chat also here. Apparently, if you have been at the DesignerCon kickoff party, then you are eligible to the full set of Veve logo letters, which means that people that are there, that were there on DesignerCon, so all the, let's say, YouTubers that have been traveling there, they will all get still the Veve logo, which might be for you guys, if you are not one of these, the point where you could consider to take profit on these logos, if you have some, because after that they might be dropping in value because more people are still getting logos. So yeah, that one should be something to really keep in mind. I'm not quite sure if this is the case, so consider this, do your own research on this. This is not financial advice, but we have been seeing that many of these logos trade way above the 8 gems that they have been issued. So, and for everyone who wants to buy a logo, maybe wait for this airdrop to happen, because let's say even if there were only 100 people that have scanned their barcode on this party, it's still 100 logos more that could hit the market, right? So yeah, I think that is something to keep in mind here, and you heard it here first on the channel. SmartyPants says, I was one of the people since they changed from that original logo letter plan to something else now, probably the blue logo, since they held back extra mints compared to the usual 90. Okay, so that is very good information, although it says here your party is eligible for a full set of Veve logo letters. So probably, yeah, they changed that, so probably it's not a full logo. And then, yes, as SmartyPants says, probably it's going to be the white logo because they held an extra set of mints back. So yeah, very good alpha here from SmartyPants. So if you have the blue logo, then you need to consider if that is profit-taking time or if it doesn't matter in terms of the price. But that's what we are going to know right now. Let's see what else here. So it's many people are asking if taking part in the survey is a scam. It's not. And oh yeah, this is also important. If you haven't crafted your gauntlet yet, if you don't do so before tomorrow, end of business, let's say, end of the day, then you are going to miss out on the airdrop. So this is basically the final call. Yeah, they held back 192 mints, which is of the logo. So sorry, I'm back at the logo topic, which is a weird number. So yeah, so that implies it. This is very important information in my opinion. Thanks for pointing that out, SmartyPants, and yeah, you heard it here first. Not many people have taken notice of that tweet. So I'm also going to retweet that. If I find stuff like that, or if I see stuff like that, then guys, then follow me on Twitter as well, at HodlerPatient, so that you can get these and other news whenever there's something important. I share it immediately, and otherwise you are getting it at Crypto Morning Coffee. Don't tell I don't need more Thanos editions. I think everyone would say, I mean, they have put out the reminder so often. I think if there's one or two more now from the stream, also this stream community here is also important. So yeah. Hugh's robot is pumping. Oh, okay. Is that the airdrop that some people got from holding that set? Or I think there was something like that, right? So Patrick Hughes is art stuff. I don't have any of that, but congratulations if it's pumping. That is very, very interesting. But yeah, so guys, unfortunately, I have to call it a day. I have to go into the the hamster wheel now, work a little bit for my monies. But 14 people here, really appreciate that. Smash up the like button if you haven't yet, if you are just joining. Everyone else who is watching this video only from the latter part, I will add in the next hours the timestamps as usual. Make sure to check out also all the other videos and streams. If you are interested in certain topics, they are all equipped with the timestamps there. Energy says I have only the first use set. Yeah, I also don't know why they don't reward the people with the first set though. Or did you get an airdrop there? So someone said contest. Eddie Almeida says contest winner never announced. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that was not an airdrop. It was a contest of having posting the 3D Patrick Hughes art. So they never announced the contest winner. That is also pretty bad, but maybe that is still coming. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here today. I will leave right now. So wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day.